Yeah, this is obviously the matchup. If they were to do preparation coming into this one, this was the one they were really putting all their eggs into one basket for. The reason being is obviously what's on the line. It's not just the cash, obviously, it's the pride and joy of being crowned the #1 team in the UK. And, you know, time and time again, we hear Endpoint saying, you know, #1 in England, or the UK, apologies, just isn't good enough. We want to do an impact in Europe. You know, you can say that as long as you are actually #1. And this is where they have to prove if they want any chance of going into deeper waters across the border and trying to do an impact. You know, maybe qualifying for the minor. That's their big goal going forward. But trying to qualify for one of these tier 2 events, the DreamHacks, etc., a place where they can really show off their stuff and make us proud to be from the UK again.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's not mentioning Ireland.
No, you're really, yeah.
I said UK.
Yeah, but UK and Ireland.
UK and Ireland?
Okay.
Northern Ireland is UK.
Demo would be very angry.
He would be, wouldn't he?
Offended him, Snods. But we're into it. Grand final, Endpoint versus London. As we want to kick this one off, and it is a little bit of a bloodlust to start. Mighty Max and Pulse are doing damage, boys.
Yeah, it was an interesting pistol from London, just straight up having no players on the kit, everybody buying armor. And Max, he's adding on to that performance on Overpass and trying to build further from it. He played really well on Overpass, obviously. He's trying to just double up on that now. 2v4, bomb will be going down. As I mentioned, there's no kit.
No kit indeed. 4 versus 2 as the smoke is there towards the CT stairs. Artis, Fry, the, you can argue, 2 best players on the team right now here to deliver the retake.
Artis making his move out towards the site. See if we can actually get any nice little openers into this round at the very least. Constellation frags to try and close it out. No one's going to get overly aggressive. Max playing it safe. The headshot angle keeps his face in the dirt, trying to hide himself from Dan's reach.
Yeah.
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 And any more riddles?
Any more riddles? That's probably the main one. That did shake him a bit.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready for the answer either.
Did anyone tweet in?
I don't actually know.
Hashtag ESL Prem, if you were aware of the riddle. Let us know your answers.
Well, boys, 1-0 for Endpoint. Obviously, their map pick. We saw on their T side 11-4 versus Auglis. And quite a similar team when you look at it on paper, right? Auglis, players that haven't been playing together for all this long time, right? When you think of CAX, you're thinking of Res ULS. When you think of Endpoint, you're thinking Max, Lazar, Pulse, you know, played for months and months and months now at this point. London, Auglis, it feels like, without being mean here, Auglis is a bit of a budget London in the sense of it's like team coming together and trying to perform with a lack of experience as a 5-man unit.
Yeah, there are similar aspects, like especially when you think, you know, fragging IGL,
yep.
Adam to Astro, perfect example sort of thing. There's no, well, you could argue Artis is the Jackinia. You
yeah,
consider like that sort of angle.
Bit of an insult, isn't it?
To
anyway.
Oh, well.
Who are you insulting, Jack? Is it Jackinia or is it Artis?
I suppose that's an insult to Artis, mate.
Yeah.
Bit mean.
Although we didn't see really much from Jackinia, did we? I think we didn't.
There was
see
a couple of very interesting wall bangs that he was able to pick
there was
up.
a lovely wall bang.
And team kills as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, up close and personal, it's Artis. Trying to dodge and dart around, finds one. Jumping around the corner as well as Lazar. Eventually gets traded out here, boys. We're into a 3 versus 3.
Not the best way to start it off, but it looks like they will try and bring this one back into more of a normal way of closing it down. Fry with a spray from the MP9, gets a bit of damage off. Max will be able to bring the situation back into at least some kind of manageable spot. But they are very low. Both the players quite awkward now. Left on 20 and 36 HP respectively. Eccles and Soulcast, the rebrand of Dom. He's pushed his way back in towards the site with the AK, ready to slay. But it will not be going down that way. Eccles, last remaining member now, wants to clutch out the round if possible. No kit, just the CZ in hand. Taps the bomb to try and draw out the face. And they will be sprinting out towards it. Oh, lovely early entry, but Pulse will trade it back. And then will get that second round, but it was a costly affair. Only one man surviving.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see him do that actual little fake there. I thought he was just going to play for, you know, he has no kit, just play to damage the economy. We can force again. However, he actually wanted to win that round. He went for the second face very quickly instead of, you know, potentially getting the kill and maybe an AK and getting out of that. So that means they do not force here, which means we're seeing 3-0. 3 Mac-10s being brought back in is kind of crazy.
And I think the reason being is the fact that, as you said, the weapon wasn't saved. They know they're going to go for the full eco, therefore buy out the Mac-10s. Try and get as much money as you can. As Thomas, he's known for getting those eco frags. He's failed already, and that's going to hurt his confidence going forward.
Yeah, he's one of those players you would like to see him get a few early kills into the game. Robin, however, already got 3 in this round. Leza should make it 1 more as well. 3-0, not too surprising, obviously. But we were wondering about that second round. It was a big force. It probably should have gone in London's favour, if I'm honest.
I mean, this is at least boding well for Robin, because he's one of those players where, I mean, if Thomas isn't going to step up to the mark and be able to do what he does best, where he literally just holds W and mouse 1 and kills everyone on the server, Robin will happily play that role for him, right? It's pretty transferable, so both of them can do it to a very high pedigree.
It is true indeed, and Artist this time going to be the one to get aggressive. In towards middle is Mighty Max, so the Mighty does spot out Artist, and I think he's going to try and fall back, but look at the players just charging through Connector. Spray down.
Yeah, that's... I wouldn't say it's their fault for that play, I guess. They're both in Mach 10s, they're trying to just get that kill. But the fact that Artist carries on going there is kind of crazy. He does a lot of damage.
We saw that in Dust 2 as well, where he got 2 entries towards short and then jumps down CT.
That was incredible.
Yeah, there's no stop. There's always go, go, go for a man like Artist. But Soulcast used to be called Dom, and Max used to be alive. So I guess both those things are true. 4 versus 2 years with a minute left on the clock. Soulcast spots out them both, but can't quite get another frag.
Yeah, going to be picked to pieces, left now on the 2 versus 3. London could finally be getting themselves a round on the board here, unless there is a clutch coming out from Joe Ducky Loose and Race Mars, the Cuban Cigars.
Yeah, the advantage they have is you've still got 2 smokes, you've got a Molotov for barrels if you want to use it. However, there's only the 1 flashbang. I'm going to guess they're going to go for a boost here. You can see them jumping up. And they're going for that boost instead of the regular one. Ooh.
Oh, dear.
Hates it.
Do hate to see those ones. Molotov obviously coming out to deny the push from short and try and take off as much time off the clock as possible. So they are still going to be committing towards the B site here. 3 versus 2. There's 2 players here. As Fry spots out the head there from Pulse.
That's a big dink as well. Pulse on just 17 HP. Luz is going to go down. You've got 10 seconds and no chance into the round, as Pulse will quickly be mopped up there like a spilt drink by Fry. And London do get an opening round on the board as it goes 3-1.
Yeah. Kind of expected, really, when you think about how close those previous rounds were, when London did actually buy into it. And ultimately, I can't ever feel like Artist, even though he got 2 kills, it was one of those rounds where you felt like he could have done even more, really. Yeah,
exactly. He's done enough for his team there, getting the first initial 2 entries, but if he falls back and it's a 5 versus 3, that's very different to a 4 versus 3 in terms of how you play the round. And Astro goes through the Molotov.
Did he get blocked
towards short. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe get a replay.
He didn't die on that angle. But if you're running through to get the short pick, it's not enough to kill
I think the spam as well.
Yeah, the spam must have connected from Pulse as well.
Ooh,
that's
Fry.
a good return.
Yeah, boost there, catching out Robin. 4 versus 4. Bomb going to be making its way back towards the B site, as well as all 4 remaining players from Endpoint are here. Former champions. And right now, they need to show that spirit.
Ooh. Soulcast, things are heating up for him as Pulse will be able to get the initial entry in towards the B-bomb site. Thomas, however, we need to see him really putting the gas down. As he puts the pedal to the metal, gets the initial frag, the follow-up coming through as well, as Eccles will be shut down, and it is all left on Artist, the Scouse superstar, the 1 versus 3, and he will have to just hold on to his kit here, get away, keep all of those things for another round, and that is going to be Endpoint instantly with the bite back, giving themselves a 4th. This is not a great start for London.
Yeah, it's instantly on that reset, especially on that CT side. I'm kind of annoyed that we didn't get to see as much from the AWP that they did invest into, because obviously Astro got taken down, Fry picked it up, and that's something I really want to see more of. Because think about back to Infused, he was incredible with it.
Well, any weapon really, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Endpoint go for the execution towards the B side, the flashbangs, the Molotov as well that came in towards barrels made things very awkward for the 2 players that were there from London, and now Artist can try and salvage as much as he can onto his Hate Your TV profile and its rating. But apart from that, it will go 4-1. And the question is, obviously, Imi is the coach here for London. Where are the pauses going to be placed? Are they going to be early? Are they going to be late? Is Imi going to allow his team just to run as a well-oiled machine, or is he going to try and interject as much as possible early on?
Depends how much prep they've done for the specific matchup, though, doesn't it? Because obviously, they will have done prep for the previous instances, like the Epic Land Final, the Omen one. But how much of it is still applicable now, right? Because over the holiday period, it's kind of how many people were actually doing prep for events and actually practicing together. Not many. I think it's fair to say, and that's not a dig at teams either. That's just the nature of the time of the year.
And Lutzer was very vocal about that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on Twitter. Yes, he was.
So 4 versus 5 there. Astro. Ooh, this is good placing.
Ooh. It's a bit awkward though, so we'll have to instantly dart his way back out, leave the toilets for another day as the push will be coming up from Endpoint, making their move towards the A site here potentially.
So they're dedicating 3 players to that as well though, with that rotate. Obviously Dom does have a very good position on B short. He knows I can cover this door exit. That grenade doesn't do as much as I thought it would.
It looked like it would have been really tasty. Thomas will still get the initial frag though. Thomas is going for it. This is good because we said he needs one of those good early starts into the matchup, right? It's going to keep him pumped. It will be really setting him up to play the style of CS that he needs to run with to cause a lot of damage. And all of a sudden there was just one man remaining on the CT side. Soulcast with the CZ in hand is able to scavenge an M4, and getting out of there with that weapon intact is probably his best bet, but he's being hunted.
Oh, that is a Dom on land spray.
To be fair to him, he's been playing quite well, so like that best of 3 earlier.
Yeah. Especially when Dust 2 as well. Dust 2, him and Artis were the ones being the fragging power. So 5-1 here. Endpoint looking like they are in the driving seat, but it's their map pick. And we can't get too overzealous here with the prediction, as we saw the difference between the map picks in the first series. London on their map pick versus London on CX's map pick was a massive difference in terms of how they played. And now we see the first pause, and this is what we're waiting for. Good old Ian Harding telling them to bring guns.
Bring grenades.
Bring grenades, yeah.
Favourite weapon.
Bring nades.
Yeah, and the coach there for London, favourite weapon nades.
Infamously.
You can see though, this is kind of what we needed from Imi, right, for this team. We needed him to actually sort of come out there, take these times to really attempt to reinvigorate the players, give them some insight into potentially what is going wrong. And that is the good overview you have with a coach in that position. Wealth of experience from playing on the front lines for so many years to, you know, eventually moving into more of that higher pedigree coach role. He's going to be able to realize things that are going wrong from that outside perspective.
Don't forget coaching against players he's played with a lot before as well, right? Because you do notice the way they play.
Well, think about the dynamic of him and Max alone, of how long they've known each other. He's played with nearly every team.
Wow, 5-man set up there, catching Lazar off guard.
It's very similar to that UKPL stack, isn't it? The one that you see on Train.
On Train, yeah. But easy frags being found here. As now they know exactly where all 5 members are towards the A site. Thomas, he knows what's on that bomb site. It's egos.
Ooh.
And he'll die for them.
That's a lot of damage. You can see Pulse is already making that think about he's trying to get more info at least. He gets that kill. And surely the call is to go to the other bomb site at this rate.
You would hope so. We'll see. Thomas is low. Robin as well, 45 HP. So one shot, headshot from the USP should take him down. They are still going to commit towards the A site.
It's a big risk. I mean, they're walking into a site where... Oh, that's an unfortunate fast trip.
Oh.
I thought it was Pulse for that second, but it's one of the situations. You run into that bomb site, you've got so many angles to check. The USPs can do so well. Even worse if there's a player on top of the box. Oh, no.
Oh, Robin.
He's killed Max.
This is getting all kinds of awkward. Obviously, Robin unable to spot him through the smoke. Luckily, Thomas comes around the sideline and actually kills him.
Save that for Tuesday in the MDL relegation matches.
Already trying to kill his team.
I know.
How has Artis missed so many bullets? Because it felt like he could clearly see them based on... we could hear those shots going past him. Was he just trying to cause chaos? He did cause chaos, but...
Yeah, I mean, he got a kill. It just wasn't him that got the kill.
Yeah.
6-1 then. And now we're into another bye. London on their CT side. Haven't looked too strong so far. Lars with the up towards, be sure. Okay, maybe expecting the boost or the jump spot from Eccles. Could be the reason why. Let's see if it works out as he goes for the jump spot again. Oh, Lazar misses the shot there, so now they know that there's an AWP in play.
There was an interesting chat I did have with Ian before the game, because when we were watching that overpass game in the previous series, and it was on about, he was wondering who's calling for Endpoint, and he gave 2 tells regarding who would be calling for Endpoint. So if they're doing the regular smokes from the T stairs to toilets and then highway toilets, that means it's Robin calling. If it's 3 underground, that means it's Max. At the start of the round, we saw 2 smokes come in towards highway and toilets. So that should mean that London play the rounds differently based off of that information.
Yeah.
But that shows how much prep they do have in terms of what does that small little detail entail. I'd love to know how Max has got to where he is right now, though. I think he's in heaven.
Yeah, actually, I've missed that one when I was looking at your beautiful face as you basically described how they play.
He'd only see one, though. He doesn't know there's a player at Graffiti or CT.
Ooh. That's one.
Oh,
Expects him, though. I think he saw the head when he went for the jump. He's on the site, so we can smoke off towards Heaven on the center side. The bomb can make its way in through Monster. This is a big play from Max.
Yeah, this needs to be huge. He's already caused some havoc today on overpass towards the B site. Let's see if he can do it again. This time armed with the Kalashnikov in hand. One frag to his name. How many is going to pick up at the end of this round? Bomb's gone down. The timer starts to tick their way through. It's looking like it should be another round picked up for Endpoint. Max will continue the damage, slays Ardis, but will suffer the same fate as Astro gets the trade back. Robin with the final killing blow. Headshot there onto Eccles, and a little bit of surf to finish it.
You have to add the surf.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not cool.
It's not, yeah, it's just not cool.
Yeah. 7-1, though. Endpoint on that T side, they have looked better on the T side today. I think it's fair to say. Obviously, it was 11-4 against Wargless earlier on today. But London, at what point do you start thinking, is it even worth using the pauses? Because it feels like we know what they're doing, but we just can't stop it.
True, obviously. So far for them, the fact that Max managed to make his way into Heaven pretty much won them the round. It was a 4 versus 3. London knew exactly where the bomb was towards Monster, the B half of the map. The round is as good as done, but Max is able to slip in towards CT, and that's going to cause arguments, those sorts of plays.
Especially with no pause after it, because usually you take a breather of some kind, but maybe they weren't as frustrated as we expect. Obviously, this round is basically given no real investment. I mean, Fry's got a CZ, but I guess that 1 kill doesn't really mean anything at this rate.
And now it's 8-1, 7 round disadvantage for London. Another buy to come through, no pause again. But they know exactly what they're doing. As you said, how do they counter what they're seeing? If Endpoint are able to keep getting easy ground, you've got to say towards A side, right? The fact that they're able to get map control very early towards there with the simple, as you said, highway and toilet smoke at the start of the round, but also the way that Max was able to get in under lines, or behind enemy lines, in towards CT was a big blunder. And here they are towards B short now, trying to fight for this map control and maybe go for a concept play off of it, or they are set up now where they can do an execution towards B.
At first I thought it was the Cloud9 rush on towards B, but instead they didn't go all the way in. They kept some grenades, doing the same boost they tried to do earlier on. But I believe they got heard, actually, based off that grenade. But it is quite concerning, though, for London, because from playing with Imi, I know for a fact if he gets involved, like emotionally invested into the game, when you're losing quite heavily, he will not, be thinking things as rationally as he would normally do. And I guess a situation where, as I said, you might pause it or not pause it because you feel like, what's the point? Where you're losing heavily, it's not going to change things. This is looking like 9-1. Astro's not been able to get involved with this AWP. He's 1-8. Ardis, we praised him earlier, got 2 kills, did damage, got a lot of map control. Hasn't been able to do anything since.
Oh, well. Another easy round towards the B side from Endpoint. And they're playing very different Counter-Strike, it seems like, on this second version of Overpass. We saw earlier on it was, well, much slower, contact, defaults, taking map control towards toilets, and then they'll do their execution towards the A site. Now it feels like maybe Robin, you said Robin may be calling this time. Yeah. It looks different. From the eye test, it does definitely look different here.
Yeah, it's a weird one because they do want to save stuff for the MDL game against Robin. That's the awkward bit, right? They don't want to invest too much into this matchup because, simply put, that MDL spot is so valuable.
Well, that's the risk you run as well, is because if you tell Robin all of the new strategy the team has, he can walk away with that and know exactly what's in your playbook when they then play against him later, which is why that does make it a little bit more awkward, really. But in terms of the matchup so far, I mean, 9-1 right now. Endpoint have just been thrashing in a good majority of these rounds. And they're pretty quickly paced as well. We do finally see another pause coming out. That's 2 of the 4 used. Makes sense. Ian needs to try and get something into them because it's just not working. They need to switch it up.
Yeah, I would like to see more... Well, it wouldn't really be aggressive players, but they need to get some map control on the board. Because right now it feels like Endpoint are allowed to play their own game and not have anybody stop them. It's unusual, I think it's fair to say. But it kind of just shows, like, even though these maps are meant to be, like, the 3 maps, we're playing these, we know what we're going to do. Surely you shouldn't be being beat like this on a map that you've played against the other team so often.
That's very true. Obviously, they played it now twice before in the finals of the UK tournaments. And there's so much stuff to go back and watch as well, as this is a home map from Endpoint. Even the earlier game today, they weren't playing. They were able just to sit back, watch Endpoint. And we know that Imi loves to do his homework for his teams.
Well, that's what makes it so weird, though, doesn't it? It's like, surely, whether it's little tendencies of how they play the map or how X player plays this position. You should be able to know just off playing them so many times.
Oh, entry there from Robin. Oh, drive-by from Pulse. I've seen skills like that since Baby Driver.
My goodness. It's looking quite good here, though, for Fries. He's able to find the first initial pick, grabs himself the AK, wanted to really unleash upon them, but he has been put to bed by Mighty Max. Falls back into the 3-on-2. It's Eccles and Soulcast that remain. Both of them just armed with the pistols there. Eccles will find himself an AK at least. They've got a little bit more firepower to pack. The AWP is close by. In reality, if they did want to try and get out of there with that, they could, but Eccles will grab it and go straight in. The full commit misses the headshot, though. Molotov's down on sight, and this is where it all falls apart. And now you have no opportunity to save those guns. It's going to be a 10th round now for Endpoint. Max is going to recover the AWP. Things are going from bad to worse.
I like that little pun you did. The opportunity to save these weapons.
There you go, mate.
As Max grabbed the AWP. Fantastic. 10-1 there.
I know, this...
It's a game where Luzza's not even getting involved. He's got 2 kills. He's normally one of those linchpins in this sort of matchup. Like, he gets the AWP going. And
CT side, yeah, definitely. T side, it feels like Robin, Pulse, Max especially as well, the impact he's had. They're able just to run in and do whatever they want, really. You know, throw strategy out the window individually. Oh, back to the exact same default we see again. You know, there's been 15, 20 seconds played of the round here, Jack.
This is how
and look how this is crazy.
Max has just been giving it. He is the quickest man alive as he gets himself into such a fantastic position. He's going to find that headshot.
Oh, my goodness. He
just walks straight into it. Max has gifted the initial frag. This is ridiculous.
Thankfully, though, Artis has the forward position, but the bomb can go up through connector now in towards the B side, potentially, as Max is still here as he goes for the challenge against Artis. But very well played there by Endpoint to go for that double face. Very, very well played, very composed. And now the execution comes towards A. It's all down to Eccles.
He needs at least 2. Not sure if he's going to even get the 1. He does. But the flash was a second too late there. We saw the flash come through. But Luzza can't seem to land the shots that are needed. Dom now in a 1v3. 2 players are low, but ultimately you can't help but feel it's a bit of an impossible round to win.
It's the tempo that Endpoint have been throwing these rounds at them with as well. There is no downtime. There's no real chance for them to even catch a break or breathe, just to slow down and think about what exactly is going on. The Max plays that are coming out are just pure lunacy. He knows he has unparalleled control to walk his way in towards that A site. No one's ever holding it. No one's going to be able to counter that. That's twice now Max has done it. So in reality, London now need to switch up that A site hold. So it means they're now going to be more paranoid. They're going to change their play style. Max really has sort of a grasp on what they're doing into this.
It's got word that it is actually still Max calling. And interesting to see that he saved a few strategies, it seems.
It's quite amazing that I reckon, so that round we just saw from Max, he did walk through that smoke.
Yeah.
I imagine that's him thinking, well, they probably have watched our old demos with Robin, and they think, if we smoke these, they think Robin's calling, which means I will not be here. I can go
usually he'd be Max would be towards B, or Robin would be alone.
Is more likely. I think, if I remember correctly in the old ones, Max would be lurking. So he just knows, this is where I would usually be, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do this.
The mind games of what could actually be causing a lot of these plays are, it's crazy because of like the levels of where Endpoint are trying to hide things from their own team.
Yeah,
while
it's kind of weird.
London are trying to decipher what's actually going on because it's completely different to what is standard. It's very interesting, actually. It's a weird UK CS only moment.
Yeah, it's a very big mind game being played by all the players on the server with each other.
Yeah.
It's
no one knows what's going on.
Really. Although Robin, he can just do what he wants, apparently, in this game. And so far today, he has just been doing what he wants. He just runs around. Obviously gets taken down there, but ultimately, I don't think it changes anything. Again, it's another one of these rounds where there's players alive, but they probably just need to stay. But Fry's just charging in on his own.
You say that, Ben. They do need to stay alive to win this one. Fry's actually in a prime time position. It could have been there. But he will be shot down. It does not matter, though. Soulcast slides back out. Luzza gets punished. And Fry, he's won them the round, the 3K. Shuts down Robin, picks up the AK, and just goes to town on Endpoint. A second round now picked up for London. This is pretty good for them as well, because, I mean, they're nowhere near the buffer they need getting through this first half, right? But at least if you can get some more, try and scavenge as many rounds as physically possible, you're going to put yourself into a more likely position of elongating this one.
It's just a weird situation, though. I can't believe Fry's actually pushed through that smoke. But the fact that he did not get traded, or the kill was not traded after he got the first one, it's kind of
bonkers, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say Endpoint maybe, not falling asleep, but kind of expecting then save, then just already preparing for that.
When are they going to learn that artist plays here every single time? Wow, well,
so they did the 2 smokes and played in front of it is what's happened there. So they didn't expect Max ran through thinking, I can do what I want. The 2 smokes coming.
Yeah.
That's what the plan was.
Ooh.
That's another good aggressive push there.
And the reason being is obviously the battle's really been had towards toilets. For a player like Echoes as well, you may as well push Monster when you see all these bodies, flashbang utility being used towards A, push Monster, get information, he's killed Pulse, see no one there, and because of that, look at the rotation coming in now from Fry.
He's got all of his grenades. The question is, how does he use them? Smoke's already been put down. Bit of a weird one, if I'm honest.
Well, he's going to try and do it again. Gets the first frag this time, but no more damage to be done. However, Soulcast, that's a free denial of the bomb plant there. You instantly set yourself up for the 1v1 as his teammate will be traded back upon. Lazza, he has the AWP in hand. He's got 47 seconds on the clock as he slowly makes his move up towards the bomb site. Soulcast, fully armed to the teeth. He's got utility. It's a Molotov and a HE. He does have that kit as well, in case things get a little bit out of hand, and it really does come down to time. 30 seconds on the clock as he waits, biding his time, listening out. The bomb has been picked up, and Laz will be sprinting all the way over towards B.
So I think that's Lazza thinking Dom's going all the way around, perhaps, there. Because you would have been heard 100%. And it does mean that Lazza's stranded on that bomb site. And think of the grenades Dom has.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing, Lazza? No!
That's not how you exit the bomb site in a 1v1.
Especially after you see him as well.
Like, surely,
he's still have your
CZ or something out. Like, try and fight.
To commit to the exit, once you've then seen his head, and just carry on running, just hope.
Maybe there's a curl in the way, just couldn't see.
Maybe. Well, he's cut them all off.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he did that. He's cut off all the curls. He's lost it.
Peripheral vision.
That is a second clutch one for Dom against Lazza in the last 2 rounds.
The feud.
But then again, does it really change too much? I'm not sure. 11-3 still is a scoreline. And if it wasn't for Fry, this could be 13-1. So, final round here in this first half of this grand final. Who's going to be crowned the best team in the UK? That's what makes things interesting, is this is the one to win.
What's weird about this as well is sort of standardized UK CS at this point. Overpass CT sides for UK teams tend to really struggle. And that's the only reason for me that I think Endpoint really need to get as many rounds as physically possible from this half, purely because they could have a mare on their CT side.
They did get 11 rounds last game, well, last series rather. And that was still a struggle on the CT side. And that was with a 1v4 from Mac. Oh, that was on the T side. But it was still, backed up by a lot of big rounds from players.
Ooh.
And Dom seems to have, got into this game now. He's 2 kills there. Inks Lazza too. But Fry couldn't get anything going.
3 versus 2, both players coming through. Connect a door, so 1 versus 2 now.
Hardest, can he pick this one up? The Molotov's down instantly. Scorches his toes as he will slide back around, heading towards the B-bomb site from different opportunity. Goes for the monster peak. Cheeky little jump, try and catch him off guard, but Reese Mars was ready. And Rock'em Sock'em knocks him out. That is going to be a 12-3 half there. Endpoint leading the charge. I mean, the thing is, right, the only rounds we actually really saw won were off the back of clutches. Dom apparently starting to get some sort of, blood pumping through his veins. Feels like the motivation is there. That's good, because obviously going into this next half, if he tries to play with a little bit more confidence, we know what damage Dom can do. He's by no means a bad player. He can pop heads off across the board. We just need to see that confidence coming through. And we're delving straight back into it. Round 16, 12-3 half. London, they need this pistol, and they need everything after that.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation, though, because, obviously you mentioned Dom winning 2 clutches. The other round they won was off of Ardis doing basically 2.5 players worth of damage as well. So you're having to have players do crazy things just to get some rounds on the board.
It's these feats of strength in CS that when you win a round that way, it's never going to happen again. It's never repeatable. And that's why you do only get a limited number of rounds. So that's the only way you can win, is off someone having a tremendous clutch. It's not a round that you can justify all the time.
Robin and pistol rounds. He's been unbelievable so far as he goes for more. 2K from him. But Fry, Soulcast, they find a killer piece towards the A-bomb side as Max and Co rotate through. Still a 3 versus 3, anyone's round.
Robin, any more snipes coming out from that USP as he waits the position. They're into the 3 versus 3. They have 1 smoke. They've got the kit on Max as well, so they can afford to play for the time here. Fry's left on 55. Both of them do have armor. Astro, the only one just running around with a Glock purely here. A couple of tags coming through. Soulcast knocked down. Robin goes for the wide swing out, gets the headshot. Max trapped between a rock and a hard place, but they're so low. They just need to get the shots off as it is all on Astro. but it will not be an astronomical play. Instead, he will fall straight down to earth. That is going to be the defuse. 13-3. This game's very nearly over, and this has been rapid.
Has been indeed. Obviously, we saw the 2 clutches from Dom. If it wasn't for that, this could be a 15-1 at this point. Extremely one-sided, and oh, the fadeaway as well on the flashbang there, but it's looked very easy for Endpoint. Let's hopefully see they haven't gassed themselves out on the first map. Obviously, the next one being the pick from London, Inferno. We saw a big discrepancy between map 1 and 2 in the first best of 3. That was versus CEX. Endpoint is a different beast.
Yeah, it's such a weird situation for like London. They just don't seem to have that consistency like found yet, right? Because obviously that CEX game first map, I'd say it was closer than the score represented myself, just because there were so many clutches, whether it was from ZNX or just small or big players coming in and a lot of the smaller rounds, which made a bigger picture. But this has got to be, you know, you can't be losing like this to Endpoint. Although if I remember correctly, one of the games that they did play before, it was a 16-3 that Endpoint won on Overpass. And that was obviously in one of those previous matchups not long ago. So this might not be as crazy a scoreline as we think it is. But I feel like it all depends on how map 2 does eventually turn out.
The risk you run as well is if they don't try and get a couple of rounds back in their favour, it's that momentum and confidence knock that you really do take. And it's looking like this could potentially be a round from them. Maybe a 4th on the board as it is onto the 4-on-3. Robin is just left on 24 as well, so he's not exactly in the most healthy position to cause damage. And Endpoint, they play it safe instantly.
It's understandable, I suppose, that you've got 2 rifles. That's pretty damn costly right there, and you know you're not going to get much money in this next round because of that new loss bonus situation.
And we also saw it on Mirage as well when they had a man deficit.
Oh, yeah.
On Mirage, they were stacked towards one of the sites when they had, well, at the time, there was a 5-6 round advantage. Here, it's 10 rounds, so the idea is you stack more players towards one site. If the opposition go there, you've got all your manpower there, highest chance to win. And if they don't, you save the cash, another buy for the next round potentially, and you continue your chances of winning. So, yeah, again, agreed. Good to see.
But ultimately, London, they need to be getting more of this sort of situation. I feel like they were quite fortunate to get into that site to begin with as well. Because Lazo could have had an easy, maybe 2 kills there. And Pulse especially. Pulse wanted to get that bomb plant.
Yeah.
But he just couldn't. He went straight for the bomb plant instead of getting one of the close kills and then potentially more. If he'd got that first kill, that retake might have been possible. Instead, we see this situation. 2 MP9s Deagle, 2 M4s.
Oh, look at how London are playing it, though. All stacked up outside B site. 2 towards Monster, 3 towards B short as well. They have very good utility here as well, Jack. No one showing anything towards B short, so they can execute towards B versus this weaker buy.
MP9's in close range, can still be a fair bit of a nuisance. If you can get those headshots off, you can really rip your way through an opponent relatively quickly. But the face comes through, the AK will slay the first man. Pulse is the only one to pick up a trade frag back, but he does go down. Astro making very snappy work of them. As he finds the first 3 frags, the grenades become rolling in. Knocks Dom down to 1 HP from the 2 HP out available. That's so unfortunate.
Oh, Dom.
Imagine if he would have died to his own grenade there.
That would have been
actually possible.
Is it not?
No.
Is it really not?
No, I'm pretty sure your own grenade goes for yourself.
Okay, Robin.
If I remember correctly.
Imagine if Dom went down as well.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, that would be a nice, awkward situation we could
yeah, that would have been good. That would have been interesting.
Just do a little limp throw flash and you run through your own flashbang and get hit by it.
Yeah, it hits your knee,
and you
takes you out.
So they keep another M4 in, another MP9, but that's not enough to buy into this next one. Like, it's different if you have 2 M4s and the MP9, very bit different, but this has got to be surely just P250s maybe here and there. But that's nice to see from Astro that he was 2 for 15 before that round. He has 3 big kills coming into that site. It's nice to see the confidence is still there to be willing to go in first, despite having a poor game.
8 round deficit here for London, as they are versus the saved weapons of Lazza and Robin, but apart from that, eco across the board for the remaining players of Endpoint. So Molotov well positioned there, but Fry, Max will go down initially. Who's this here then? Thomas, or even Pulse actually going to be going down, so going to be 13-6, and even then, London have such a big gap to fill here that they need a lot more high round wins if they want more of these ecos if they want a chance.
This is rough though for Endpoint into this one. They're actually getting battered. It's a lot better for the side of London. This is good because we said if the cracks can show, it's going to be on the CT side for Endpoint. That's where they're going to struggle. And London playing a very slow default into these rounds, clearing angles very tidily. Fry playing it smartly as well, using all that utility. We saw good use of the Molotov and the HE. It would have done a ton of damage as well to the other players that were there. So it's just the fact that it's actually working now. They can play it slow. They know what Endpoint are getting up to. And Endpoint can't really counter it in this initial position. However, I mean, once the economy comes back through, that's the risk you run, right? Endpoint can definitely wake up. They can snap out of this. The CT side can be strong. It's just the fact they only need 3 rounds. So even if they are having a weak side, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, if I remember the run of actual rounds 1 in the previous Overpass game that Endpoint played, it was a situation where they lost the first 3 or 4 and then won 4 on the spin. So obviously this has changed a bit. They did win that pistol and then they lost the second.
Yes.
So the question is, how does the run of how does this run sort of be created? Because it looks like they can't battle that. The battle of attrition obviously is very hard to play anyway. London had it earlier on against CEX, and they did lose ultimately. The question is, will Endpoint fall into that sort of situation if they do win a round? Because London can buy regardless of what happens in this one.
Oh, so they're going for spam. That was a bit overzealous, to say the least. This is with the first kill there, so 13-6 still on the cards, but Robin, this is what we mentioned about getting aggressive and trying to bring his team back into a position to be able to win. So well played by him, showing his experience in the server. 4 versus 4, bomb. Ooh, I don't think he saw it.
Ever so close. That's a really nice fight.
Oh, cracking shot there from Fry.
Yeah, lovely
Red Snake
shot.
sends his regards.
Red Snake always pays his debts.
He does.
That is actually an advantage found for Endpoint now as well. Thomas finding that with the AUG. We haven't seen much of the AUG or SG so far this event. SG especially, we've really not seen. I don't think we've seen
Thomas has really been it, really.
Thomas has been buying the AUG, and that's it. Like, it's kind of surprising.
No one's really favouring the Krieg. It's all about the AKs.
It's more so the AUG, I believe, for the 7. I think, is it 7 yards up close? It's one-shot headshot.
Yeah, it does.
Also, the easier spray, and when it's zoomed in as well, it's just so powerful.
So the question is, I was going to say, if there's going to be any contact, will they walk the whole way up? But they give away that they are there. The plant comes in. Max cannot stop that due to the pillar, but Thomas can trade it away. Fry 1v2. He's won things like this before. The question is, can he do it now?
A Fry round could be coming out. Only time will tell. He has a flashbang to play with. Hunkers down on short right now as he waits for the initial aggression to come back out. Lazar and Thomas going to go sprinting towards the site. Thomas left him 32 HP. Fry gets the first and the flick around on the second. He is going to be able to take them both down, and London will win that round. Fry, he's the saving grace for that side right now.
Jesus.
21 kills to his name. This is vintage.
I mean, if you add up Echo's, Astro, and Soulcast's kills combined, it equals Fry's impact. Yeah, essentially 21 to 22. Well, he is the reason they may have 7 rounds here so far in this matchup. 7 to 13. Endpoint going to be having to flash back. Whoa, London already know they can do it. Versus CEX, they did it. And that may give them a little new lease of life going forward.
Thing is, on the T side of Overpass, I can't feel like it's a different beast to Dust 2 on the T side. Dust 2, it feels like you can get that flow going so well. But this map's got so many, there's a lot of narrow choke points that you can just get caught in. And 1 kill could go and make the round just absolute hell.
A lot of spanners that could potentially be thrown into the works on Overpass. Lazar hiding in position. Astro won't get overly aggressive there. He doesn't have the bomb, so links up with the rest of his squad. If he did push through, Lazar might be able to get a little cheeky frag off with a 5-7, but he can potentially go for the backstab here. Robin will open it up. Good to see a bit of a return for the 5-7 bet.
Quite a few of them being picked up there. 3. I believe Max does use one as well. So that means that Thomas is the only one who does use that CZ. I think that's because he uses it on the pistol round sometimes, which is unusual, but each to their own. But ultimately, they got the first kills this round, but Dom did trade away those 2 kills. I'm not sure if they'll be able to find anything here. Depends on when Robin peeks in, so when he peek once.
Ooh.
That's that one, but Lazar got one too.
As well. Overzealous there gets traded by Eccles. Eccles trades both of them, actually. So 1 versus 2 here for the mighty Max. And right now, this seems to be a mighty round and a mighty play from him.
That smoke is in such a weird position. He could get out here. But Fry, he knows that, yeah. He checks the angle perfectly. But that's a very costly round for London, although the cash doesn't really impact them too.
Yeah, right now the commodity is rounds. Speaking of that, round number 22, and it is going to be 13-8, so this is getting even closer than it was before. It was a 10-round advantage, wasn't it, at the start of this CT half here for Endpoint. Now it's only 5, so it's already halved.
Yeah, Fry looking to get more involved into this one. He was one of the players we did pick out, obviously Robin the other one. I wouldn't say Robin's played poorly either. He's had one of his regular games.
Impactful game, yeah. Not really on the scoreboard, but
17 kills is still fantastic in the position that he's in.
But then also 17 kills for Robin, it's the impactful frags he delivers, you know. We saw a lot of eco frags at the start of the game from Thomas. I believe they're at similar numbers now, so this goes to show the difference. But anyway, Fry, so far the only real driving force for London in this matchup. So he seems to shine in the latter portion of the round as well, when he's last alive, or 2 versus 3s, when it's the end of the round, the bomb's down and after plant or retake position. That's where he is at his best.
Yeah, he is very similar. Cold Zero is probably the best one that comes to mind, a combination of that and Zipnix, where you can trust him in the end, but he's also not your entry fragger second, third in. Artist does get the entry onto Thomas there, but Max stuck in a bit of an awkward position here.
Ooh.
Pulling that smoke out.
Could have got even worse for Max, but luckily he's still able to stay alive and kicking. The Molotov does come back through, though, and ignites around him. However, he's gifted these kills. He's still just hunkered down. The Molotov hasn't spread either. He might be on 22 HP, but he's ready to give it from behind Toxic this entire time. Tries to get the angle, goes for the wide swing around. Soulcast will dispatch him. Eccles will get involved as well, as Robin is taken out of the mix. And it is all on Luzza and Pulse here. Pulse with the backstab. Let's find that initial pick onto Astro, and this actually makes their lives a lot easier. Eccles has got the bomb down, but they've got so many angles to focus on now. It could make this one fairly awkward for them to actually win the clutch. Maybe the 14th round picked up for Endpoint if they can get it. The tag with the AWP comes out. Luzza doesn't get the frag from it. Luckily, Pulse will be able to clean up. He has been dinked. Eccles with a tasty shot coming through, and Eccles saves the round.
There he is. We're not losing. See, they have that hunger, that motivation to come back into this one. Obviously, they had it earlier versus CX. They know they can do it. 4 rounds behind now, as Eccles is now the Rocky, giving that motivational speech to his team. And every team needs it, the hype man. And this time, it's the former Fnatic Academy member.
I wonder how different that plays out if Luzza doesn't hit the shot through the part of
If he gets the kill,
they could double peek it maybe.
Yeah, because the flash could have been different. Obviously, he flashed it intending to get that play because he knew he had to peek. But instead, we see the situation now where they have to, they're half buying into this one. You can't help but feel like London, they should be able to get this into a 13-10. And that's when you're Endpoint, you see it hit double digits. And you start thinking, this comeback is actually on. We've seen no pauses from them. No,
that's worrying as well. Nelsinho being the coach for Endpoint. So, bomb, left to playground. Eccles, I believe, Eccles going to be holding out towards T-Spawn if any shenanigans do happen, if Endpoint pushed with the pistols. Instead, though, Ben, they are going to stack towards the A site.
Yeah, I do like the gamble calls on these sorts of rounds. You might as well try it at the very least, because that's, you're giving yourself a much bigger chance to actually get involved here. The flash peek came through from Thomas. Will they check for a player in toilets? They are looking like they are going to do it, but Luzza gets the kill. And the trade is not possible. Artis is pulled all the way back with a bomb. That should be a free AK right there. And he can pass that across to one of the players with armor. This becomes potentially winnable here.
Max, he is going to be pushed. The flashbang will just fade, though, as the entry comes through. Oh, Fry, he's crisp. He's been popping heads through smokes already into this matchup. It looks like he wants to try and continue that trend throughout the entire game, as he is putting people to bed. Robin is the only one that remains, and it is up to the Swedish superstar to rip his way through the remaining 2 members of London. The spam comes through. Ardis will lose 2 HP there in the initial confrontation. But Robin has so much to do. 23 rounds left in the magazine here. Tapping down, tries to go for the face. Yes, no utility and no kit, so timing is everything. He's got to play with the aggression. Tapping out these shots, pushes in. Fry's holding the angle, had support from the rear there as well from Ardis. And London, they bring themselves up to 10 rounds. Considering the position they were in at the end of the first half, this is looking much more manageable.
And the pause finally comes through. You have to think that's Endpoint. 13-10, that seems to be the little ticker. You see that come through. They get the pause in. Nelsinho, you can see him there. Still sat down.
Of course.
He doesn't stand.
No, he doesn't stand, does he?
He will only rise for the queen.
Would he? He's Scottish.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm not sure. I don't think he would, if I'm honest.
Well, 13 to 10. I didn't think we were going to be saying that one. 7 rounds, 1 in a row for London.
He'd rise for an iron brew.
He would, probably.
Other brands of drink are available.
Of course. Maybe a battered sausage as well.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Some lamb sauce.
Where is it, though?
How much is in the bin?
How much is in the bin?
How much is in the bin? Just keeps going. It's this game. It just keeps going. London bringing it back. They're getting it out of the bin.
So I'm waiting to see if he has a smoke coming. It'd be funny if he died this way.
Smoke, isn't it? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
So the execute's going to come in. 3 separate smokes are about to come flying in.
Ooh,
Ooh, okay, it's not the bridge smoke, that's for sure. It's a bit deep though, but the execute's coming through. You can see Endpoint, they're falling all the way back to water. Ardis gets that kill, but where's the second man in?
Let's see then, Mighty Max with 2 gets shredded up by Eccles as Thomas goes down through the smoke, and it's all down to Pulse and Luzza.
Well, Thomas has just thrown away the advantage they had into that one, goes overly aggressive for no reason, straight in, doing what Thomas does best, but unfortunately it does not work out well for them, leaves them into the 2 versus 3. It's Luzza and Pulse that remain. Pulse goes for the power play, gets the initial kill off. You're back in the 2v2 now. This is an equal situation they can build from. Fry's going to be boosted up over the smoke. He can try and peer in. Should spot out that first head. The spam's coming through. Time is of the essence. They've got 2 kits, but they need to get on that bomb shortly. Luzza gets the kill somehow with the flick up. No one is on the bomb, though. They need to jump on it.
What?
Everyone focusing.
There's no
Pulse.
time.
He's not got time, surely.
I think there is.
Oh, he's only just got it.
Oh, goodness.
Bailed out by the kit that Pulse had actually bought. I was surprised that he wasn't the man, or at least they swapped guns or something, because Luzza kept the AWP into that retake. It's one of those decisions he would have made a few months ago before he picked up the rifle more. He would stick with the AWP no matter what.
Nice shot, though.
Very nice shot.
Yeah, ridiculous to land it, but...
On Fry in the middle there.
Well, well, well. Endpoint finally break the curse after losing 7 in a row. And obviously, Ben, we know what to say here. If they get reset, then London...
Look at the money in London, though. It's actually not that great.
Oh, wow. We go straight
They've been damaging them.
1 versus 2s from Fry. Eccles as well. Rounds been close. Clutches of long. All in favour of London. Let's see. Fry, remember on your screen, and definitely the MVP from London. One of the reasons they did win 7 in a row. The bomb left in T-spawn once again from London, so they're going for a very, very slow approach to their T-side, whereas Endpoint were very fast and aggressive, almost reading exactly what London were doing, expecting them not to be ready for it.
So it's interesting to see Luzza and Pulse actually playing towards this A side. Obviously, Pulse has full grenades. Luzza basically has the same as well. But Robin now joins up with them, and he's initiating some kind of aggressive play due to him having that MP9. A single flashbang here could be fantastic, depending on where it does land. Oh no, that was awkward boosting.
They could be walking
They've killed Luzza
to the meat grinder. Robin with the reposition, gets away with that kill, but has to try and get himself ready for the second one. Can't do it. Goes down to Soulcast. The Deagle will overthrow him. So we are falling now back into the 4 versus 3. London, they've started this off well. Soulcast can get out of there with the MP9. And there is still 40 seconds left on the clock. Some commotion being brought towards the B site. Max will get a read from this, but the rotate is not coming anytime soon.
Oh, shots going in there towards short. Max going to be falling back here. Massive gap in the smoke. I'm not sure if London are going to be expecting this one, and maybe they are, but Fry, the star player from London, goes down, but a swift trade frag there from Eccles. Astro's World chimes in, leaving Pulse alone. 1 versus 3, and yeah, you can see that the instant decision just to save this one for another rainy day, and it's going to pour as London make it to 11, but reset the economy now for Endpoint. Back down to $1,400 round loss bonus.
Yeah, and that does guarantee they won't hit the max loss bonus until it's 15 to 14.
Very good point.
Favor. So you got to be thinking these next few rounds, they have to be very careful what they do. If Pulse Predators keep that up, I wouldn't say it's been a major factor so far this game, if I'm honest. Luz hasn't really done too much with it. He hasn't gone aggressive mid with it too much. When he did, he got grenaded. So it's not exactly a big factor, I wouldn't say, but it's still a big money point, because that's the only reason you would double save, for example. You want to get that AWP in. But he misses! No!
No!
Pulse has had such a good game so far as well. 24 kills. He's the top fragger right now for Endpoint.
He's normally unreal with the AWP.
You know, when he isn't meant to be the primary AWPer, he does so well as that secondary.
Unreal as an AWPer.
And that's such a simple
how
shot.
Luzza feels right now. Oh.
Time that has to go through, obviously, on their side.
That's a tilter.
Second pause then from Endpoint. 14 to 11. And $2,000 across the board, and this time 5 USPs, no saved orb for Pulse, which means we should be seeing the E force. Wow, they're forcing.
If we think about how the rounds run,
yes.
So you get 19 next, 24 after that, 4,300 guaranteed. You would be down 14-13 on your next buy, which means you can then play for overtime if you do lose after that.
14-14, 15-14, yes.
Yeah. So that's, I'm not sure if they were thinking that far ahead of it.
Probably not.
Because obviously you don't really want to be thinking, when we're 15-14 down, we can get a buy-in still. But
that's a very good point to bring up, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see, then going forward, getting
bounced
aggressive.
so much on those nades, and it's done 13 damage. I think they're all the magic grenades.
13 is the unlucky number, which doesn't bode well for them going forward. Let's see, then 1-for-1 exchange already at connector.
Well, that smoke is there to cause havoc. Robin gets another one. Loves it with the flash, but he can't kill him.
Oh,
he can't
kill him. No, it wasn't meant to be. He's not a chef anymore. He can't cut up meat.
That is true. He's not a chef anymore. Oh, dear.
He's put down the knife. He's taken off the apron. He's been put to bed.
And that leaves him in such a weird position, though, because it's like 2v3. There was so much havoc. You felt like you probably could have won the round from that position if he'd got the kill. But surely you saved the 2 AKs. Because there's not, you've got no kit. You haven't really got many grenades. Grenades you do have, though, are high value, like a Molotov. $600 really in CT.
Yeah, I'm going to save it.
You can drop the pistols across. You could buy again if you really wanted to try it.
I mean...
I don't think it's a good idea.
Gosh, I can't believe Dom. I mean, Soulcast survived that one. 16 HP there for him.
How did Buzzer miss so many P250 bullets? Thinking about it, because the right click does like, what, 55 to 60-ish?
Yeah.
55, yeah.
Is it 55 still on this? Yeah, okay.
So we only hit him twice and then one right click, yeah. And he's behind him for so long, and then as Dom turns around, he right clicks, so he didn't get the kill. Unfortunate scenes there, as it is now 14-12. Oh, no, this is the replay, is it?
How did he only hit him like twice?
Oh!
That was 3 misses. That's so unfortunate.
One small thing could have made such a big difference in that round.
Oh yeah, the potential impact that could have had in the round.
Robin's bought armor with the CZ he got dropped, which means he will not have very good cash next round. It'll be 4,000. Obviously, he's willing to take that hit himself because it will only affect him. But it's an interesting decision, I guess. If he does make the armor work, it's hard to question it. But that's Luz already going down. Max, only a USP. Decent damage.
Oh, okay. Another kill there from Thomas as well. Bomb is still in towards T-Spawn, so they can go back. Let's see then, 4 versus 3 here.
This is going to be such a big round. All 3 AKs are here for the CTs. It's all about who lands the shots.
He's going to be so precise getting into this one. It's a trade apiece there as Max and Eccles both go down, but Thomas playing with the aggression now. Eliminates Astro, smashes him straight out the server, and it's all on Soulcast. 1 versus 3 to pick up the round. Dom's had some clutches, but can he get any more? Spots the back of the player there as the push comes around. However, Thomas is ready. If the aggression was there, he should be able to overthrow him. The push slowly coming in. Thomas is just holding the angle. There should be a frag for him. The fast peak will come around, but Soulcast can't land it. Is match point picked up? Endpoint, 15 rounds to their name. London, they have 3 potential rounds to drag this into overtime. If not, we will see Endpoint picking up the first map here. Bear in mind, this is not your standard best of 5 at a Prem. This is a best of 3.
Yeah, good thing to know. What was that, sorry?
The money in London has run out properly as well.
Well,
they
got
full
cash
grenades.
at least.
Not full grenades, though. It could be quite big later on in this round.
Very, very true in terms of their execution, if they wanted to do one towards A or B. So far, though, London were down 13-3, and the fact they even brought it back to this sort of scoreline means they're going to have confidence going into their map pick Inferno.
That's for sure. I mean, Endpoint, I feel like this just confirms the CT side still isn't quite there, but obviously this is with Robin technically a standard.
Oh, and
again!
And
he's
again,
so good
and again, and again. No, sorry.
If I remember correctly, he got a 1-tap like that at Gfinite as well. Like, he's so good at landing that shot.
So, 5 versus 4 then. As London may want to be fighting here for overtime as the bomb is left outside connector. 3 players towards A long, frying connector as the bomb makes its way towards the A sides. They come creeping up towards toilets. And it's Luzza and Pulse both in towards normal toilets, not towards long toilets, which means London about to walk into this one or walk past it.
Yeah, I think the key factor is what does Fry do into this round? You can see Endpoint, they're chancing that rotate. Robin's clearly made a call or suggested it to leave him on his own towards that site. Max is now coming over here. If Fry kills Robin, this changes everything. But that's even worse. Max should not be getting taken down there.
This round's getting awkward.
Fry kills Robin.
Trade comes back through though. Lazar left on 4 HP, however he does have the AWP. Pulse is with him. I mean, if you can get away and save this, that's be the best bet. But look at the backstab from Fry. Easy pickings as Lazar goes skating off into the distance. Eccles eliminate Pulse. That is another round picked up. London Esports. They're attempting to get to that overtime potential. Cash isn't great for Endpoint. Money's tight.
It's all over the place, really, isn't it? Lazar's on low cash. Pulse has plenty of money. Next to no investment, really. 3 P250. Well, Pulse can get a deagle, that's fine. But P250s crossbow and HG grenades. They're hoping to get involved with the little that they do have. Big ask, that's for sure.
It is. Obviously, they're going to save this one, allow for the 15-14, and then there's everything to play for. Endpoint, if they go to overtime and lose, that'd be detrimental to their mental fortitude going into the second map because they were up 13-3. And that would be quite an embarrassing feat here in the grand finals. Thomas getting the boost here towards Connector. Nothing they're going to come out about from it just yet.
Astro looks like he's going to check for that boost as well. He was originally checking towards that angle. Does check for it a bit too late though. Thomas probably should have got the kill really.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it's just damage dealt, 50 damage. And another opening kill for London. Can't help but feel like it does go 15-14. Unless something drastic comes out from Endpoint.
The curse of the CT side, holding them back. They just can't quite get it over that finish line any time. Just coming in now towards the B side. Robin, he spotted the foot there. Should have had an inkling, but it will not matter. He won't get a chance to do anything with that information as the backstab from Astro is proven to be far too strong. Lazar delaying the inevitable. Eventually will go down. Max is going to be hit on the site as well from Artist. And London Esports get themselves a 14th round. 1 round now to decide whether or not if this is going to be a first map victory for Endpoint or overtime between these two sides.
Fry actually hit 31 kills as well, just before regulation's potential end here. Showing really, the second half, I think, is the main thing. Is like he must have swapped on like 11, maybe 12 kills.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And then now he's burst in. Lazar did get dropped an AWP, which I think that's quite an interesting one, because he hasn't really had much impact with it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think he's... Well, early on, actually, for Endpoint, when they're up 13-3, as we said, he really was rather quiet. The problem is he hasn't got into this game just yet. And this could be a time where they need him, especially when they're going to be walking towards his bomb site where he has that AWP posted towards a long. Fry in towards Connector. Remaining 4 players here from London in towards middle as they come contacting in towards Pulse.
I think Pulse did see him.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think he did. If he manages to get behind all of them here, if Eccles checks it, he has no idea now, though, does he? He can hear them, but...
What? Oh!
That is mental.
Hardest.
How?
Where's the comms?
Oh, no, Lazar! It was his time to shine! That could have been a 4v2 right there. Instead, they're going to be facing a 4v3 retake. They've got 1 kit, not many grenades.
What is going on here?
Please.
Lazar,
there we go.
Finally brings it back as we'll be able to find that flick around onto Fry. But it is all up to Astro and Soulcast. This round has just completely been disintegrated. Robin, through the smoke, gets the execution. Astro, unless he can do something absolutely ridiculous, this will be Endpoint taking the map. Max will find the final killing blow. The defuse is going to come in. 16-14. Endpoint will take overpass. And that last round is full of question marks.
Yeah, that is mental. The fact that Pulse is able to get the second frag there, I'm sorry, but that's unforgivable.
I just don't understand how it happens. Like, are you not hearing things? Are people not saying things? I'm not really sure.
But even then,
you had heard.
You're about 4 foot away.
You've heard
you've heard him die.
Very, very strange.
16-14 just it shows they made a meal of it, I think it's fair to say.
Well, I mean, it was 13-3, wasn't it? 10-man advantage going in favour of Endpoint. They even won the pistol, I believe, as well, right? And they lost the second round after. But regardless, 13-3 up on the CT side, and they just about scraped the win. We're seeing massive issues with the CT side defense today, even though organise weren't really able to punish it too much. Still very evident to see, but at least it's their map pick. They've secured a third map if things go south on Inferno. But yeah, what do you think, Jack?
I mean, for me, it's just so many rounds of just questionable plays from either side, right? There was a lot of mistakes thrown in there into the mix. It's unfortunate. It's also the fact that it was good to see actually how impactful Fry can still be, because these are the sort of games we had witnessed week in, week out at Elite Series, right? But we haven't really seen that Fry in some time. And now, instantly back into it, it seems like he's in that home environment once again. He's in a team he kind of wants to be in, playing with players that he respects, and he is doing work once more. I
think that's going back to like the whole being friends with your teammates as well. Because I mentioned it earlier, how it is very underrated right now. People still don't, they don't remember to keep that element on board where you're still friends with your teammates. You play other games with them. It doesn't have to just be CS. You want to be friends with them first, so then you can actually make better decisions in game with each other and not be too rash.
But it's also for the mood, right? It's the fact that you can take losses far better if you're friends.
You can speak to people better in terms of getting criticism as well. That's the other thing as well.
Exactly. I mean, in terms of MVP, who'd you give it for in the side of Endpoint?
Pulse.
Pulse? Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Strong first half, led into that huge lead, obviously, and then the last round, 2 huge kills.
Yep, very
obviously,
true.
I feel like he was gifted the second one.
Yeah, honest. Not sure where he was looking for. But I mean, it's a shame, obviously, for Fry. He puts in such a big performance. Doesn't really get anything out of it, though.
Yeah. I suppose it is not their pick, I guess.
That is true, and there is still more to come. Obviously, it's the best of 3. There is potential. They've displayed a lot here on the first map and fought absolutely 2 for now. Unfortunately, they aren't able to pick it up, and Endpoint will be taking the initial